U-Sports on CBC, presented by les championnats U-Sport à Radio-Canada, une présentation du gouvernement du Canada, the Government of Canada, Nike, Fox 40, Veraburn Medical Supplies, les bagues Baron Rings, BioSteel, and by et par les systèmes Miller Waste Systems.
It's that moment again, the one you dream of every night. La seule chose qui te préoccupe, c'est la gloire, le cheminement de la réussite, of pushing yourself further than ever before. But the true glory is in the shadows. Les sacrifices que tu fais, quand toutes les chances sont contre toi, when you can't push one more second. Chase the glory. Visez haut.
Morning to beautiful Elmira, Ontario, and welcome to the 2025 Miller Waste U-Sports Women's Hockey Championship on CBC. My name's Adam McGuire, alongside Macaw Cup champion Paige Rinn and Sarah Saeed, our sideline reporter, as we get set to bring you the consolation final of the 2025 U-Sports Women's Hockey Championship, a rematch of the Canada West final between the Alberta Pandas and the UBC Thunderbirds. There's the updated championship bracket. Both these teams obviously are familiar with each other, as UBC and Alberta hooked up in the championship for Canada West. And they will hook up once again in today's consolation final. There you see the tail of the tape. Two evenly matched teams, both in the top 5 in the Canada West. Top 5, in the country. Top 2 teams in Canada West, all the way through the playoffs. UBC, one of the top scoring teams. Alberta, one of the staunchest defensive units. Madison Willen will be key for Alberta's efforts here if they want to come away with the 5th place finish. She had 23 points in 28 games, including 8 goals for Alberta. On the other side, the National Player of the Year, Grace Elliott, the Broderick Trophy winner. She will be key for UBC if they would like to come away with a second straight victory here after they beat UNB yesterday in the consolation bracket. 22 goals, 42 points, both nation leading for Elliott. So she will be key for the Thunderbirds today. We will be back with Puck Drop after this. You're watching the 2025 Miller Waste U-Sports Women's Hockey Championship on CBC.
Le sport en direct sur ici-tout.tv. 100% énergie. 100% gratuit. Votre meilleur plan de match pour voir des performances exceptionnelles sur l'appareil de votre choix. C'est ici-tout.tv.
lots of trash talk on the ice. There is lots of trash talk on the ice. At Miller Waste, we talk trash every day. We serve over 2 million Ontario households weekly, transforming more than 175,000 metric tons of recyclables and organic waste into reusable resources. Proudly Canadian, family-owned, always driving hard to the net. Let's make a difference. Game on.
This is a call to empower, to unite, and to celebrate the bold in all their glory. It's time to own the ice. Are you ready?
Welcome back to the Woolwich Memorial Centre, the Dan Snyder Memorial Arena. The Consolation Final, UBC and Alberta ready for puck drop here at center ice. And away we go on the final day of the 2025 Miller Waste U Sports Women's Hockey Championship. Adam McGuire and Paige are in with you. Sarah Saeed down on the sidelines as this one is icing against UBC right out of the gate. Renner?
Yeah, love a good 10 a.m. game on a Sunday here and a rematch of the Canada West Championships. Obviously UBC and Alberta. Alberta took that one in 2 games, and we love to see it out here. Both teams fighting to end their season on a win.
Yeah, the Consolation side bracket, obviously both these teams had different goals coming into the week, but 2 teams that would love to finish off their season with a victory against one another, as that one's frozen by Elise Huggins, starting in the UBC net.
Huggins, the 24-25 Marion Hillard Award here at the U Sports Championship, which she received for her outstanding community service as a student athlete.
Yeah, leader on and off the ice is Huggins. In off the offensive zone draw, Alberta can't get the cycle going, but it's given away. And now a shot onto Huggins there. That was from Willen, but it's stopped and held by Huggins.
Quick whistles here so far. The first 30 seconds, 3 stoppages of play. Both teams filling each other out, getting into the groove a little bit, and probably shaking a little bit of rust out of the legs, as this is their 3rd game within the span of 4 days.
Yeah, and for UBC, 3rd and 3. They played on the Friday of the quarterfinal. Both these teams defeated the AUS Atlantic Sport representatives in the Consolation semis yesterday. That was in the morning action. Alberta topped St. FX. UBC beat the UNB Reds as Twos turns away from Grace Elliott, the player of the year. Long lead pass now on the right wing side. It's Wright. Wright cuts to the middle. Her shot just missed. Huggins had to stop and go back against the flow of play. Outstretched, but the shot just missed on the near side post. Kept in at the line and floated back into the zone. Turning there is Sophia Gaskell. FISU silver medalist Gaskell with Team Canada, the World University Games in Italy just in January.
She's been having a great tournament so far. Look for her slap shot from the point.
Gaskell couldn't hold the line. Yeah, she's been great, and in fact nearly squeaked the overtime winner in against Bishops in the quarterfinal. UBC on this Consolation side of the bracket was 31 seconds away from a win in their quarterfinal against Bishops. Bishops scored to tie the game, then won in overtime, and now Bishops is in the final, the gold medal game tonight against the host Warriors. So UBC maybe felt a little hard done by the hockey gods, that they were just 30 seconds short of a semifinal berth, and instead playing in this game, but they have the horses to definitely make some noise here. Beating out the icing call is Cassandra Bettenall. She too has had a really good tournament. Bettenall turns. Centering pass comes from Maya Healy, but it was in behind Mia Baird. Baird in on the forecheck. Her brother Nate, very familiar with these parts. He's part of the University of Waterloo Warriors men's hockey team, and he had a great season for Waterloo, did Nate, before an injury ended his year, as this one's frozen by the Canada West Goalie of the Year, Grace Glover, who will get the start for Alberta.
Yeah, Grace Glover didn't get the start in the Consolation semifinal, But we will see her back in the net again tonight. As you said, the second team All-Canadian has had a stellar year for herself as the backbone of Alberta Pandas here.
The Pandas only allowed 29 goals in the regular season, 1.02 goals a game. That was tops in the nation. They didn't allow any yesterday against St. FX. Knocked back into the zone. Waterloo did score 3 on them in that 3-0 victory for the Warriors on opening night in the quarterfinal as Glover freezes this one again.
Yeah, that Alberta St. FX game yesterday, we know Alberta won 3-0, but that score might be a little bit misleading. If we look at the shots here, St. FX tallied 36 on net, but Alberta coming away with the donut shutout.
Yeah, it was Misty Ray in net for Alberta, who did get a lot of regular season action, kind of split the net. Glover kind of carried the way at the end of the year during Alberta's long winning streak in January and February.
Yeah.
But absolutely, Rinner, this one's tipped on and kicked away by Glover. Absolutely great season from Glover. And Alberta yesterday giving up 35 shots, as you said. That's their season high. They gave up less than 20 in the regular season per game.
Yeah, and rightfully so. Ray received player of the game for yesterday's stellar performance in net.
Elliott tipped that point shot from Carmen wide. Grace Elliott, 22 goals in the regular season. Up to the top of the zone and tries to leave it. Pinching in on the far side was Pepler, but it's muscled out to center ice, and the Pandas are back away. Allison Reich. Stolen neatly there by Holly Magnus, but it will roll into Elise Huggins, who will hold for the faceoff.
Elise Huggins also did not start in yesterday's Consolation semifinal. We saw Lucifora, who also had a stellar game for herself, as she only let 1 goal past her. But it's great to see the versatility, and also both teams letting some of the younger goalies get some experience at this championship level and continue to develop the program.
Yeah, it's such a disappointment for these teams to go out in the quarterfinal, but it does give some lineup options to the coaches in the Consolation side of the bracket. Into the corner offensive zone as UBC goes back to work. Perrier's down there. Gaskell can't dig it out. 2 Pandas are there as well. Magnus couldn't find it, and the high shot is shrugged away by Glover. Spun back in by Jalen Morris. Cross ice pass, and it was unable to be connected there. Perrier was in front of the net. Maya Baird is there too now. In back of the net, this is Healy. Healy. Worked over there by Melnick and taken down is Healy. Puck is underneath her, and a strong defensive play by Chase Melnick leads to a whistle, and Maya Healy picks herself up.
Glad to see she's all right after that scrum. Seems that tie-up might have left a little bit of residue on the ice. Too much contact.
These two teams, as we said, very familiar with one another. Face-off not done fairly, they'll do it again. Both games in the Canada West final went to overtime. UBC had the home ice advantage in that series. Canada West, because of the travel, their playoff series are all in one location, so Alberta had to go on the road to UBC. They won twice in consecutive nights in games 1 and 2 in overtime to win the Canada West title. Abby Soiko got the overtime winner in both of those games. So we know these two teams are evenly matched.
Yeah, it has been a battle back and forth, because also when these two teams met in regular season, UBC took both the games.
Lajoie barrels down. Couldn't get the puck, though, as the 5th-year captain was stripped, and now back into the middle of the ice. Sierra LaPlante worked it out to center ice, but Willen's going to turn it back for the Pandas. On the far side, this is Soiko. Couldn't center the puck, and it's intercepted. Cassandra Betnall comes away on the right wing and tries to cut past Anchor. Anchor made a great play, though, and a good stick check turns the puck back over. Cross-ice pass, Willen couldn't get it out. Second try, she does. Sandilands now. Karine Sandilands goes cross ice. And a hard wrister. That one was fired and didn't miss by much by Mackenzie Kordick. Carmen down low now for Shanrit Bassi. Bassi couldn't center it. Willen stole the puck, and now Alberta's going to get a change as it's just going to be rung back around the net by Soiko. Little one touch, and Sandilands is back on the attack, but she is turned away at the blue line once again. Regan Udall bounces it out to center ice, and Bassi wins it back for UBC. No real sustained zone time yet. Regan Udall is going to try to change that for Alberta, but she cannot. It's rung back the other way, all the way down the ice, but this is going to be icing against UBC as the game is now just 7 minutes old.
UBC has been dominating this game so far. They have been smothering the Pandas, especially with their forecheck, and the Pandas have yet to set up any sustained offensive pressure here.
Yeah, shots early are just 2-2, but you're right, Renner. It does certainly feel like the ice is tilted to our left. UBC once again off the defensive zone draw has the puck. Tried to get inside the zone on the Alberta side. They could not, and King with a lead pass. Now in front of the net, it bounced away from Bordeaux-Douai before she could settle it down. Another shot from the point, and this one through the traffic traced by Huggins, who will hold for a face-off. Callie Clouston got that shot away for Alberta, but Huggins has the answer.
Huggins seems to always has the answer. She has been instrumental for the Thunderbirds here, tallying herself a number of program records, including the most wins in a season with 18 and the most career wins. She's tallied a total of 58, and she is a big part of this Thunderbirds' successful program.
Yeah, and as you mentioned too, Renner, off the ice as well, a great leader. Lead pass now for Annalise Wong. Annalise Wong centers in front. Fleming scores! What a beauty from Jacqueline Fleming. UBC draws first blood.
Number 91, Jacqueline Fleming, the third-year art student out of Beaumont, Alberta. What an absolute snipe. She tosses it right up over the corner, or up over the shoulder of Glover to put the Thunderbirds up 1-0. That's her first goal of the postseason and the U Sports tournament here.
Yeah, 7 goals in the regular season, and Jacqueline Fleming took that feed from Annalise Wong. Annalise Wong with a team-leading 22 assists on the year in the regular season, and another gorgeous primary assist there. Alberta's going to try to respond right now. Willen, she drags it to the net front. Her backhand rolls, and a quick whistle as Huggins had it knocked away from her. But a face-off as Natalie Kieser was in front of Huggins looking for some of the garbage.
Alberta looking to jump on any loose rebounds that they can. They would love to get the equalizer early and not continue longer than they need to chasing the equalizer goal here.
Offensive zone draw for Alberta, but UBC wins it. Long lead pass, and Thorpe was in behind the D, but a good cutoff there by Sarah Cazell prevented a would-be breakaway. Funny bounce there off the official skate, and UBC skates it out of harm's way once again. In front of the net, chopped there by Gaskell, and away come the Thunderbirds. Bentonall turns back. Down low for Thorpe. Thorpe in the corner to the backhand in front, and just fending on that was Mackenzie McCallum. Black in behind the net. Alexandra Black tries to settle things down, and now Craig goes cross ice. The breakout is successful. Regan Udall grits it just to center ice, but no further, and now dangerously Alberta had to make a change there with the puck in front of their bench. Nearly 6 skaters on the ice. UBC's back on the attack though. Morris streaking down the left wing side. Bassi is there in support of the puck. Morris couldn't get it to her though. Bordeaux-Douai works it out only to center, and again drifted back by UBC. Bassie is there, but I think she was ahead of the play and ahead inside the zone, so offside's the call against UBC.
That was a delayed offside call, and we'll see the face-off right outside of the Alberta Pandas zone. One thing that we've seen from the UBC Thunderbirds kind of consistently throughout this tournament is they've been inches away from those cross-ice passes, and we've seen that already here this morning. So we saw them connect on one, and we'll see if they can do it again here.
Flip back in by Bassie. Taylor Anchor, an alternate captain, a veteran, fifth-year education major, reverses play. Now Anchor with it again, and she'll hit center ice to shoot it on in. Again, might have caught the official. It's just inside the UBC zone, but again, the Thunderbirds with the bulk of the puck control. Long lead pass up ahead to Kordic, and she spun and fired a hard shot that Glover had to be careful with. Neto Carmen sweeped it away at her own blue line. Back to twos, again inside the neutral zone. Dumped down but deflected, so no icing as Carmen is back for UBC. Annalise Wong with the assist on the UBC tally. Grace Elliott tries to find that goal scorer Fleming on the breakout, but it was turned back by Alberta. Keyser is dumped, and now here comes Elliott. Grace Elliott, 2-on-1 with Fleming. Elliott just shot it wide. Saw the dominance there of Elliott as he flicks it again towards the goal, but Grace Glover will hold for a face-off, and we will step aside. UBC leads 1-0 early on in the Consolation final. You're watching U Sports on CBC.
Le sport en direct sur ICTout.tv. 100% énergie. 100% gratuit. Votre meilleur plan de match pour voir des performances exceptionnelles sur l'appareil de votre choix. C'est ICTout.tv.
This is a call to empower, to unite, and to celebrate the bold in all their glory. It's time to own the ice. Are you ready?
Welcome back to Elmira and the Consolation final. Another look at the first goal of the game. Jessie Fleming from Annalise Wong has UBC up 1-0.
That was a great lead pass by Wong, and the way that she just showed great composure to take it wide, separate herself from the defender, and make a little bit of space so Fleming could cut to the middle and get a good scoring opportunity.
Yeah, and made no mistake. Here come the Pandas again. Annie King gains the line as they look to try to sustain some zone time. Would-be centering pass hit the back of the net. Again, here comes the top line of UBC. Elliott. Elliott turns in front of the net. There was Wong, but it was deflected over the crossbar and off the backboards. Now the captain, Sierra LaPlante, floated it wide. Fleming. Fleming protects the puck, goes cross ice. Mishwagen's shot was blocked. She gets it back. Anissa Mishwagen again, another block. Reagan Udall got in the shooting lane that time. Towards the front of the net, here's Wong. Pardon me, this is Healy. As the Thunderbirds try to change in the offensive zone, Healy picks it up. Baird is in front of the net but can't get open, so back to Mishwagen at the point. Elliott to the forehand, and she couldn't get a shot away. LaPlante's going to roll it back behind the net. More sustained time here for UBC. Losing an edge there was Healy, though, and that allows Alberta to clear the zone. Kanisha Miswagon is back as Alberta frantically gets a change after a long shift of being hemmed in.
Yeah, UBC looking like they're on a power play out here, the way that they're able to make fluid line changes while sustaining that offensive pressure.
Maya Baird at center ice pushes her Panda off the puck. Alberta, though, with Plouston leading the way, is now into the offensive zone. Plouston can't cut to the middle. Now a shot comes through from Portadouis, but it's gloved easily by Elise Huggins.
Shots right now 5-5, equal across the board, although I would not say that the possession time would reflect that. I do think UBC so far is dictating how this game is going, and Alberta is going to have to find a way to pick up the energy. It is the end of a long weekend of hockey here, but they're going to need to find a way to get something going, start getting pucks on net.
Yeah, Alberta has always, as we mentioned, been stingy this year with the amount of shots they give up, but the possession really favoring UBC as that one's deflected over the glass and out of play inside the UBC zone.
Yeah, you're right, Adam. They really are stingy. We talked about Grace Glover only giving up .73 goals against average per game throughout the regular season, but to build on that, she made 277 saves, so defenders on the Pandas do a great job of not letting much get through to her.
Yeah, their goalies were, to say the least, not the busiest in the country for Alberta. Head coach Howie Draper's team, absolutely one of the best defensive units. And the only goal they've given up here we saw was off the rush. That's how Waterloo found their success in the quarterfinal too, as that one steered away by Huggins. Off the rush, Alberta maybe a little more susceptible, but once you have zone time on them, they're going to get sticks and shin pads and shooting lanes. Bentnall now and McCallum muscle it back into the offensive zone, but Peyton Lombach will gather it up for the Pandas. Now Chase Melnick. Long lead pass, has Soiko in stride. Soiko tries to make a move, but well defended there by Morris. All rookie team member from a year ago, Jaden Morris. Jalen Morris has had a great tournament here too in her second year, and she will retreat and get the puck behind her net, the Maple Ridge, BC native. To Bentnall, who couldn't clear the zone. Willen keeps it in. Madison Willen, the second team Canada West All-Star. She loses the puck, and Shanreet Bassi leaves it for Gaskell, who will rip it in, but from the wrong side of center ice, so icing is the call against the Thunderbirds.
Adam, you have to wonder if these teams are bringing a different game to this Consolation Championship, given how many times they've seen each other throughout the season and how familiar they are. Both teams so far had only faced foreign teams that they had not played all season, and now they are up against their old friendly foes. So interesting to see if there are any other hidden psychological tactics going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, we were quite close, in fact, to having the final day of this tournament be 3 all-conference matchups. Toronto, had they won last night, as there is a delayed penalty here, Twos was upended. But she's the one that's going to take the tripping call.
Yeah, we'll see, I believe on the replay here, Bossy was entering the zone, and she's been doing a great job, but with her zone entries, she cuts back and challenges the defender, makes them stick their stick out and trip her, and as a result, Thunderbirds will go on their first power play of the game here.
Regular season power play percentage, 24.3%. That was the 3rd best in the country.
They struck once on the power play yesterday as well against UMB. That was Benetal, number 7, who was able to tuck one away on the power play.
Here's Elliott. Shanreet Bassi back to Morris. Morris. Annalise Wong. Morris. Puck bobbled on her. Down low, Shanreet Bassi. Morris. Wong. Point shot blocked and cleared. Taylor Anchor got in the way of that one. And Udall was able to get the puck out of the zone. Back in are the T-Birds. Bassi tried to go to the forehand, and then she was upended by Anchor. UBC thought there could have been another call there. Fleming, the goal scorer. Bumps back to the point for Wong. Morris's shot blocked there by Izzy Lajoie, the Alberta captain. Now Wong. Fleming. Fleming curls down low. Elliott. Elliott, sharp angle, tried to pick the corner on Grace Elliott, who was down in the reverse VH. But the shot was way high and wide, and that's a clear for Alberta. Elliott muscles it on ahead for Bassey. Bassey and Elliott, two of the all-time legends of the UBC program. Both 30-point years this year. UBC has been in this tournament a lot recently. This is their 7th appearance since 2013. 3 medals, 2 bronze and a silver, but never the gold. Down low now. It's Bentnall in front. Oh, what a stop. Glover made a great save as she slid across and robbed McCallum on the doorstep.
Bentnall, great heads-up play with that little feed across the blue paint, but Glover shows her athleticism as she slides across the net and is able to get there in time.
Yeah, explosive out on the post there from Glover to get to the middle of the net and make the save on Mackenzie McCallum, the 5th-year Masters of Science student from Morden, Manitoba, the former McGill Martlet in the RSEQ. Thorpe, she comes down and off the line. Penalty is now over. Alberta back to full strength. Thorpe still circling. Doesn't have a lane she likes. Lajoie marks her. Nice little backhand feed, but Perrier couldn't get a good shot away. King reverses things and behind her own net to Black, and now Lajoie leads the rush for Alberta. Izzy Lajoie tries to muscle past Baird, but is stood up there, and Mia Baird grabs the puck, and the Calgary native will pick her way out to the neutral zone. Nice little move there by Baird. Turned back by Bordeaux. And Soiko has the puck inside the offensive zone for Alberta, only for a moment though. Now chipping and chasing is Sandilands as she gets the rush going. Tries to center for Kordic. Sandilands has to settle it for LaPlante. Kordic looks over her shoulder and finds the puck. Melnick pins her along the corner boards. Karine Sandilands comes in to try to dig it out. Willen couldn't reach it, and she's upended. Kordic now at the top of the slot. Her shot deflects off a body and wide. Another block shot from Alberta as it's played down the ice, and will be enough for icing as Kanisha Miswagon is back for it for UBC.
Sandilands, we've heard her name a lot this morning. She's had a great tournament for herself. She's tallied 2 goals to expand on her already 2-point postseason. The 4th year kinesiology student out of Winnipeg, Manitoba. Can be nothing but proud of her performance so far at this U Sports National Championship.
Yeah, Sandilands has had a really strong tournament. Off the draw, it's won by Alberta. Anchor sends it back down low and high off the glass. Alberta's Melnick is unable to clear. Kept in. Bassey's shot, that one deflects wide. Elliott probably got a foot on that. Not sure she saw it though. Jean-Marie Bassey tries to dig it out. Carmen lines and fires, and another shot blocked, this time by Soiko. Carmen to the line. Cross ice far side, Pepler. Her shot gloved down by Grace Glover.
Alberta is taking no exceptions to anyone in or around the blue paint. There might be some residual connections that these two teams have established between themselves that will not be built on any more today, as we see that there will be no extracurriculars on the UBC side.
Yeah, the consolation game, this is, as we said, not the side of the bracket either of these teams wanted to be on, Renner, but the reality is this is what determines if you're a top 5 program or not. This is the 5th place game. And for these two teams, the added measure of kind of the rubber match. You mentioned UBC swept in the regular season, Alberta swept in the playoffs, and both would kind of like the last laugh here.
Yeah, redemption for UBC and Alberta obviously trying to defend their title here.
Yeah, assert themselves going into next year as the team to beat in the Canada West. Puck is pinned along the corner boards. Lajoie tries to dig it out. It finally does pop loose to Sarah Cazell, and she will curl in front of her own net. Has Peyton Lombach on the near side. Lead pass up ahead to Lajoie, but she was cut off neatly by Morris. Gaskell goes back up the wall. Muscled out, but not to the line by Fleming. It's turned right back there by Klusen. And now the Alberta forecheck causes some problems for UBC. Finally flicking it out to center ice there is Annalise Wong in front of her own bench. And back inside the line, here's King. Puck high in the air, watched and settled down by Sierra LaPlante, but it popped up on her. On the forecheck, that was Soiko. That was Bordeaux. She was unable to control though, and now Bentnall is one-on-one with Melnick. Melnick with a great defensive play to just body Bentnall into the sideboards and quell the last chance here for UBC as the seconds tick away in this period. Bordeaux tried to muscle it out. Still inside the line, but that will do it for period number 1. UBC with a 9-6 lead in the shots and a 1-0 lead on the scoreboard as the Thunderbirds have drawn first blood here in the 5th place game, the Consolation final.
Yeah, UBC probably feeling pretty good going into this intermission as they are in the lead on the scoreboard, but also really have been dictating the pace of the play out here and had the possession for the vast majority of the first period. So yeah, they must be feeling pretty good going in, and Alberta's going to have to put their heads together and find a way to connect from tape-to-tape passes and then tape to the back of the net. Yeah,
speaking of tape-to-tape passes, our only goal, a perfect feed from Wong. She drew the second defender, and Fleming made no mistake. Jacqueline Fleming went high over the glove of Glover and top shelf to give UBC the lead. We'll send it down to Sarah, who's at ringside with Howie Draper.
I'm with the Alberta Pandas head coach, Howie Draper. Coach, Alberta is down 1-0 here in the period, and this is against a team that you played and beat in the Canada West final. What does Alberta need to do to respond in the next period?
Well, they're just such a talented team, and they have so much speed. I think we've got to do a better job of trying to slow them down. So taking the body, making sure that we're working hard to make first contact, away from the puck, just getting in their way a little bit. We just got to try and slow them down, and if we do that, then I think things will be better for us.
Last game of the season, what is Alberta going to take away from this tournament?
Well, I mean, we just want to be a team that doesn't matter what you're playing for, whether it's a gold medal, 5th place, 7th place, whatever it is. You want to put everything you can into it and do your best. You know, it's not necessarily about the outcome, it's about what you put into it.
Thanks, Coach. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Sarah. As we heard from Howie Draper, some wise words about how his Pandas can get back in this game. UBC with the only goal of the first period. Alberta not with a lot of chances, and Elise Huggins was there when they had them. We'll be back after this. You're watching U Sports on CBC.
Let me guess. First claim with us?
Yep, here we go.
We checked your coverage, and we're good to go.
Oh, we'll see.
TD Insurance is the only provider with auto centers that handle your claim on site.
Sure.
We'll do your repair.
It can't be this easy. Can it?
And your rental car, too.
Is this a dream? Am I wearing pants?
Advisors, repairs, and rentals, all in one place. If you were expecting drama, you won't find it here. TD. Ready for you.
We're coming to you live from the Woolwich Memorial Arena, proudly built by Malou Blamey Construction, your community builder, supporting charities and local events. That's what we do. Come cheer on these U Sports Women Championship rising stars and be part of the action. See them, be them. Proud supporters of local champions, Malou Blamey Construction. We'll see you at the rink.
This is a call to empower, to unite, and to celebrate the bold in all their glory. It's time to own the ice. Are you ready?
Hey U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Welcome back to the Woolwich Memorial Centre in the Dan Snyder Memorial Arena. Pandas and Thunderbirds. After one period, UBC leads 1-0 in the Consolation final thanks to a goal from Jacqueline Fleming. Two teams who are very familiar with one another. UBC and Alberta, the top two teams in Canada West. And as we heard from Howie Draper, the Pandas will try to get some sustained zone time and slow up the UBC Thunderbirds. And Renner, there's the Fleming goal. Shots 9-6 in favor of UBC.
Yeah, I mean, Coach of Alberta made a great observation that UBC is fast, and they are. And that's what we're seeing out there. Alberta has been seemingly trying to step in front of them, take the body, and get in the way of their lanes, but obviously we've seen UBC wheel around the outside and get the majority of the scoring opportunities so far in this first period. So yeah, Alberta's going to have to find a way to get something clicking here.
Yeah, and Alberta had the first two shots in the first shift, kind of low leverage shots against Huygens. Since then, though, it was all UBC. Elise Huygens, as solid as you would expect her to be. And as too was Grace Glover, the only one that beat her. This beautiful shot from Fleming up high on the rush. That's the only goal so far through 20 minutes as UBC leads Alberta. We will step aside now for our PepsiCo Foods Canada U Sports Champion Spotlight. This time we'll listen to Gabrielle Santerre, who will play in the gold medal game tonight. We'll learn about the legacy she's building with her Bishop skaters in the purple and white.
I'm a hockey player. I've been playing since I was 4 or 5 years old. I'm doing a lot of other sports too. I love golf. I love flag football. But I really like to hang out with friends. I'm studying psychology in school too, so I really like the mental side of sports. I started to play hockey with boys hockey. I think it's really when I switched with women's hockey that I saw my potential and that I really set myself some goal and that I wanted to go higher in terms of level. So the main reason why I chose Bishop is because it was a young program and I wanted to build that program and bring it to the tops. Also, the value and the culture of the program really resonate with me. I'm so proud of being here. I'm so proud of being part of the program. I'm also really proud to play in Canada, to play in my country. I had the opportunity to go NCAA D1. I visited a couple university there. Playing in your country, having the chance of staying close to my family and building something here that aligns with my value and that I want to just continue to build that culture and building a winning culture. I think it's huge for me and I'm just so grateful to have that opportunity each day. So I'm trying to make it the most out of it. I'm doing a major in sports studies and a minor in psychology. Later, I would like to mix both and become a sports psychologist. I'm working with one in particular, and I think it's really helping me a lot. One of the reasons why I performed that well so far. I think a lot of people put that aside, but for me, it's a major reason of my success. And I think more and more athletes are starting to realize the importance of being in a good state of mind to perform and just being confident, being in the present moment. During the pandemic, I just I didn't know what to do, so I started reading books, and I wanted to read books about like sports performance and just how to be the best athlete I could possibly be. Since then, I'm just really passionate, and I think I saw the improvement in my performance too. So it's just really something that I want to continue to research and improve myself. A feeling that you have for yourself, it's not really about like the outcome or whatever, but just the feeling that you have, that you gave everything, that you were true to yourself. I think a lot of people put emphasis on like the result of like if you win, if you lose. The personal feeling that you have with yourself, are you satisfied? Do you feel like you give your all, and do you feel like you were prepared enough? And if the answer is yes, then in my head you had succeeded. So
Hey, change makers. Change it up. Turn ideas into action. Passion into purpose. And questions into real solutions. Because whatever path you choose, here, you'll make an impact and get ready to change the world. Make your change. Discover your story at Waterloo.
This is a call to empower, to unite, and to celebrate the bold in all their glory. It's time to own the ice. Are you ready?
Feel every hit, goal, and celebration as if you're standing right on the sideline, immersing you in the game like never before, bringing heart-pounding action directly to millions of fans. We deliver unparalleled simplicity and tailor-made digital broadcasting solutions crafted to make you feel every moment in a way like never before. Our passionate team ensures your message reaches audiences reliably every time. Proudly Canadian, we bring a touch of innovation and our passion to the world stage. ISI Live, be there.
Hey U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Oh, aussi bon que Messi! C'est pas aussi mauvais que la cigarette, ça?
C'est juste une vapoteuse.
At Miller Waste, we're proud to sponsor the 2025 U Sports Women's Hockey Championship. There is lots of trash talk on the ice. At Miller Waste, we talk trash every day. We serve over 2 million Ontario households weekly, transforming more than 175,000 metric tons of recyclables and organic waste into reusable resources. Proudly Canadian, family owned, always driving hard to the net. Let's make a difference. Game on.
U Sports on CBC, presented by Les Championnats U-Sport à Radio-Canada, une présentation du gouvernement du Canada, the Government of Canada, Nike, Fox 40, Veraburn Medical Supplies, Les Bag Baron Rings, BioSteel, and by et par les systèmes Miller Waste Systems.
Welcome back to a chilly but sunny late winter, early spring day in Elmira, Ontario. Technically now early spring, I guess. It's 1-0 in the consolation final between UBC and Alberta here at the Woolwich Memorial Centre in the Dan Snyder Memorial Arena. Adam McGuire, Paige Rinn, and Sarah Saeed with you today. And Rinner, take a look at the championship bracket. We know the heavy medals will be handed out later today. Waterloo and Bishops will play for gold at 6 o'clock. Before that at 2, Concordia and Toronto will meet for the bronze medal. There's our schedule for the day. And through a period here, UBC leads in this 5th place game 1-0.
Yeah, that gold medal game tonight between Bishops and Waterloo. Both teams have never before been to a gold medal national championships here in the U Sports. The appearance at the national tournament in program history, so they would love to come away with gold. Also, Waterloo would love to come away with their first gold, but both UBC and Alberta would love to come away with a win to finish off their season.
Yeah, lots at stake as we've talked about here, Renner. A couple of Canada West teams, and even to set the pace for next year in Canada West, right? And to send your graduating seniors away with a win at nationals. The fact that you'd be a top 5 program and you can use that in your recruiting as well. There's lots at stake here, and as we take another look at the goal, Annalise Wong's feed to Jacqueline Fleming has UBC in the driver's seat so far through 20 minutes of this 5th place game.
Yeah, Fleming has been outstanding this tournament, and what a great little quick play. Shows some quick hands to get that one, fire it right off the tape. Quick release, and she tucks it up over the shoulder of Glover.
Yeah, the top line for UBC of Fleming, Wong, and the Player of the Year, Grace Elliott, they have been really strong on the rush and generated a few chances. Elliott had a couple of grade A opportunities on the wing that just missed the far side post. This was the best save of the first period. Grace Glover exploding across in the power play to Rob McCallum. And Alberta, as per their usual, getting in lots of shooting lanes as well, making it difficult and block the shots.
Yeah, Grace Elliott has been all over the ice tonight, and as you mentioned, the U Sports Player of the Year, the recipient of the Bodrick Hall trophy here, and she's had a successful tournament so far as well, tallying 2 points with 1 goal and 1 assist. She will look to expand on that, as I believe we will have an exciting and close game here in the remaining 40 minutes. I don't think either of these teams will be rolling over without a fight.
That is for sure, as the Thunderbirds take the ice here in period number 2. There's Elise Huggins, the Marion Hilliard Community Service Award winner for U Sport. She was awarded that on Wednesday at the National Awards Banquet.
Yeah, she's made a significant impact with her volunteer work. Namely, she's done 4 years with the Superheroes Hockey, which provides children with cognitive and physical disabilities the opportunity to learn how to skate and play hockey. That is just one of many things. This game is too eventful for me to go over all of them, but she is an outstanding person on and off the ice.
Yeah, a real leader in the community, the 4th-year kinesiology student. Played for Team Alberta under 18 team, the Sherwood Park native. As UBC off the opening draw has another offensive zone flurry here, and the shot there from Kordick deflected. Sandilands almost got a stick on it, and it just missed the near side post. Lajoie tries to settle things down to anchor. Now a long lead pass, and it's just too far for Jaden Morden. Morden off the end boards will try to fire a sharp angle shot, but closing the door there was Huggins. Now Bassi couldn't work it out. Soiko with a steal. Right down Main Street. Soiko to the backhand. Stopped by Huggins. Alberta with some jump here in the first shift of the period. And now they're going to draw a penalty. Delayed call coming up. Extra attackers on the ice. And a shot from the point from Brooklyn Twos is stopped. But that will give Alberta their first advantage of the morning. This is the Soiko chance that just preceded the penalty. We'll see it coming up here.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah, it's Kordic who is penalized. Didn't see the call, but it's likely boarding.
Yeah, I think anytime you see the numbers when you're going in to hit someone, they will call that boarding, especially that close to the plastic siding.
Yeah, and maybe fortunate Rinner just 2 for boarding and not a 2 and 10 for a check from behind.
Yeah, I would say so.
Soiko down and off the line. Left there for Lombak. Lombak, her shot deflected there by Morden. And I think Huggins got a piece of it too as they give each other a shin pad tap. Puck goes over the glass and out of play.
Alberta so far on the power play of this tournament, they've struck once. They've gone 1 for 12, and that was a goal from LaJoy in the 5-1 win versus UNB yesterday.
Morden wins the draw, and here's Anchor. Willen, Anchor, one-timer, a high riser. What a hot shot from the point. That didn't miss by much as Huggins battles through the traffic. Soiko at the line now. Anchor once again. Can't wind it up, so she'll give it to Willen. Soiko, top of the zone. Soiko, seeing eye shot deflected. Rebound stopped again by Huggins. 2 big stops from Elise Huggins there on the doorstep. She robbed Jaden Morden, and finally the Thunderbirds are able to clear the zone. They're going to race to try to get a change. .55 seconds gone in the UBC penalty. Anchor, centering pass, and it deflected off of a Thunderbird. That was the captain LaPlante who intercepted that pass, but it went right on goal, and Huggins had to be careful to make the save.
LaPlante getting down low, putting her stick on the ice, trying to take away that cross-ice pass, but consequentially almost puts it in her own net. Take a look at that, other opportunity by Morden on the power play. Alberta chomping at the bit here. They are starting to ramp up their aggression and attack towards the net.
Another face-off win by Alberta. Cazal in off the line. Lajoie centers it through the crease, but no one was there for the Pandas. Cazal with it again. Cazal gets it back at the line. Now Keyser. Her shot deflects and over the glass and out of play.
BC had a really successful penalty kill in the postseason. They went 100%. They stopped 10 out of 10, not letting in any goals against. However, once they got to the national championship here, they have faltered a little bit. They've let in 2 shorthanded goals on 8 opportunities. So we'll see if they've been able to tighten that up in their time between games and video review.
LaPlante is going to just skate it out to alleviate the pressure and go wide. LaPlante tries to center it in front. Now a shorthanded chance for the Birds. And Glover shuts it down as Annalise Wong was in the slot.
Annalise Wong, she's also had a great tournament. UBC's tallied 5 shorthanded goals so far on the season, so they do know how to get it done with a man down. And Annalise Wong almost did it. She's had 2 assists, 2 points on the weekend.
Yeah, and that play created by LaPlante, who went all the way in and then swept it in front to Wong. Grace Glover had to be sharp there to keep it a 1-0 disadvantage for the Pandas. Only 10 seconds left in their power play as Morden rolls it in and chases herself. Morden steps away from Gaskell. Gaskell, one of 8 players in this tournament that represented Canada at the World University Games. Long lead pass up ahead, but just over the line there was Kordic. She was a little too anxious to try to start that 2-on-1 and offside the call against UBC.
Yeah, Kordic just fresh out of the box, jumped onto the ice behind the Pandas defenders. Thought she might be able to get a little sneaky Hail Mary in there, but unfortunately it gets sent down the length of the ice for an icing. So both teams 0 for 1 on the power play now.
Pandas win the draw. And it's back to the line. Black shot. Bourdouis got a stick on that, but it was stopped by Huggins. And Bourdouis at center ice. Couldn't flip it back in. Long lead pass by Perrier now up ahead. It's Kordic. Kordic to Elliott. Elliott turns it back and it hit a leg of a Panda. That was Holly Magnus. It bounced to the near side. McCallum with it. Now Elliott brings it around to this near side. Kaylee Pepler. Back down low for Kordic. Mackenzie Kordic. She turns. King is on her. And King undersized, but does a great job there to intercept the flow of Kordic. And she's pinned inside the zone, so UBC's got to tag up. Glover left the puck there for King, but King had lost her stick. And King very carefully kicked it behind the net to her D partner, Alexandra Black. Here's Bentnall. She tries to drag it to the net front. Puck was loose momentarily, but turned back into the corner and now dumped the length of the ice by Alberta. It will be icing against the Pandas as Misswagen is back for UBC.
Bentnall, she's tallied 2 goals already this tournament, and she's a very experienced championship player. Yeah, if we take a little look at this quick play out in front, Alberta defender doing a good job of taking the lane away and getting in the body, but Bentnall, the IIHF World Championship of Division 1B with Team China, great job stopping and shutting her down.
Yeah, she tried to cut to the net front, did Bentnall, and couldn't get there, so the puck just rolled harmlessly through the top of the blue paint. Now Anchor doing work down on the corner for Alberta. That riles up the Panda fans. Puck is loose and unable to get a puck to the forehand with Shanri Bassi, and it's cleared again by the Pandas. LaPlante in front of her own net, turns, looks up ice. Lead pass for Bassi, jumped over her stick, and Anchor's going to cut it off. Bassi on the forecheck, forces Anchor to move it quickly. But the Pandas are there, and it's back out to center ice. No further, though, until UBC's got possession. Bentnall. Pass to Bassi. Bassi made a move, and offside is the call. Ashton Thorpe might have been a half step ahead of Shanri Bassi.
Yeah, Ashton Thorpe or Bentnall, take your pick. I think they were both waiting at the line there as Bassi made a last-minute cutback move. And they both jumped the gun as the 3 forwards were entering linearly, and get caught offside.
One too many moves from Bassi at the line, maybe. So we're back underway. Morris. She will shoot it in. Chasing there, but unable to turn the puck back over. A pair of Thunderbirds. Now Morris back at the line, rolls it in. Behind the net. Would-be centering pass, batted away by Glover. That was from Perrier, and now it bounces to Glover on the near side, and she'll hold for a face-off as the rough stuff picks up here. There's the familiarity we expected to see, Brenner.
Yeah, that's Mia Healy, and I believe she will get dragged to the box for that. I think I saw a little bit of head contact, and anytime we see anything touch the face mask or the helmet, we know that's a no-no. You're usually going to the sin bin, but it will be coincidental minors here.
Yeah, it will. You're right. It looked like it was going to be Alberta back to the power play, but they'll play 5-on-5. I think it's Haley Craig for Alberta. It is indeed.
Yeah, so that's Mia Bird and Haley Craig both sitting out, but we will still see 5-on-5. They will remain in the box for 2 minutes until there's a stoppage in play.
In behind the net, Soiko tried to reverse the flow of play, but it was cut off there by Elliott. Soiko pins the player of the year against the boards and turns the puck back the other way. Here's Willen. Willen cuts. Willen leaves it for Keyser. Keyser slide it in front of the net, but Soiko had been taken out of the play. Soiko and Elliott exchange some pleasantries. Elliott slashes her stick away from her. Meanwhile, here come the Thunderbirds back on the attack, and unable to march to the net was Meadow Carmen. Now Black hits center ice and dumps it in for Alberta as they'll get a change. In around the net, here's Wong. Lead pass, Elliott gains the line. Elliott tried to cut to that middle to get a forehand away, but she was stick checked. And now Lombak up ahead, Morden. Morden, little drop for Anchor. Anchor shot, glove stop. The rebound was there momentarily. Huggins fought it off. Now Anchor, who jumped up into that rush. She lost control of the puck, and now she's got to get back quickly as Sandilands leads UBC 4 wide. Shot from the sharp angle came through and it was kicked away. That was Sierra LaPlante who would join the rush. Now LaPlante's got to get back. Bassi was covering for her. End to end we go. Here's Sandilands. Tries to center it in front. Kordic was streaking to the net front. And Kordic couldn't receive that pass. Things have opened up here in the last minute or two. Mackenzie Kordic in this near side corner. Rolls it in behind the net. Sean-Reet Bassi to chase. Bassi to the top of the zone. Bassi, wrister. That one hit a body. Sandilands couldn't get a shot away. She swung, but it was blocked. And now 3 wide Alberta. Clouston, little drop. Boarded Wee. Couldn't get the shot through as Gaskell got a stick on that. Pace has really picked up here between these two teams.
Yeah, we are going back and forth like a game of ping pong with good scoring opportunities on both ends.
Both goaltenders remain sharp, and both defensive zone coverages have been strong. Some block shots and some deflections here in the last couple of minutes on these 3-on-2s. Udall turns it back over and has Alberta in the offensive attack again. 2s at the line. Cazell off the boards into the feet of Udall. She kept it in, but the bouncing puck is settled down by Jalen Morris, and she'll lead the rush at center ice. Roll it in on the backhand and gets UBC a wholesale change. Much harder in this second period to get changes, as we know, with the long change, and important to get that puck deep. That's what Morris did there. Alberta's going to have to do the same now. They got their forwards changed up. They'll finish that change now, but UBC's on the attack. McCallum, sharp angle, kicked away by Glover. McCallum with it behind the net. Cazell marks her. Puck bounced on Thorpe, but Alberta steals. And now with some speed, it's Natalie Keyser. Keyser, her shot stopped and held with Soiko going to the net hard. Huggins is able to corral the puck with no rebound.
Alberta doing a great job on those last few zone entries, not taking a linear path. We see them bob and weave and move all over the ice, just trying to create space, separate themselves from the defenders, and as a result, we saw space created to get a good shot off from the high crease.
Yeah, Keyser with a good cut there, and the spacing of that 3-on-2, both 3-on-2s that Alberta's had here in the last couple of shifts have really been good for them, created good opportunities. Meanwhile, Baird wins the race to that puck. And Mia Baird sends it down low to negate the icing. Perrier, she was checked into the corner. And on the back check, Baird's going to scoop up the loose puck thanks to Maya Healy's efforts. Misswagen flips it back in front of the UBC bench. More fisticuffs here as exchanging shoves there. I think that was Healy and Magnus. Holly Magnus gave the last shove and went to the bench. Meanwhile, Morden's back in the offensive zone for Alberta, but no support on the puck as Grace Elliott picks it away. Fleming has Elliott as Alberta changes. Annalise Wong takes that pass neatly in her feet. Back into the Alberta zone, but not for long. It's sent back to center ice. Misswagen. Now flipped back in here by Anchor. And delayed call there on the icing. They're going to say icing is the call. And Renner, that was really close to center ice, but they'll say on the wrong side of the red line for Alberta.
Yeah, that one was a close call. I think they even maybe took a half second to think about it, but we will see. Offensive face-off for the Thunderbirds here. Animosity starting to boil up and show as neither team failing to take that extra shot and put a little extra behind every check when they see the opportunity to do so.
Fleming played it off the official's skate. She rolled it in behind the net but was spilled. Back out to center ice, but only that far for Alberta. Taylor Anchor. She'll try to muscle it out. Morris tied up there with Bordeaux. Clouston picks it up. Magnus goes to the net. Clouston, high rising shot on the far side, missed. Now Sarah Cazell. She's down and off the line, all the way behind the net. Cazell. Checked away there by Wong. Fleming. She lost control, and Reich has it inside the zone once again for Alberta. Reich tries to center it in front, but spilling there was a Panda. That was, that was Craig going to the net front. She was upended, and that will bring us to a break. UBC and Alberta go back and forth. The fisticuffs pick up, the physicality picks up, but only the one goal. UBC leads. You're watching U Sports on CBC. St. Jacobs, Ontario. There's Amber and Flapjack, the mascots. For now, though, the hot event in Elmira, the big ticket, is the final game of the 2025 Miller Waste U Sports Women's Hockey Championship. This is the consolation final, the 5th place game, and Rinner, a couple of teams familiar with each other. The temperatures may be picking up a little bit.
Yeah, we are seeing a lot of extracurricular activities take place as there seem to be some heated emotions happening.
Here's Kordick on the right wing side, cuts and gets a forehand shot away. She scores! Mackenzie Kordick doubles the lead for UBC. It's 2-0.
Mackenzie Kordick with a great cutback play, just as we were talking about. She capitalizes. She's in alone, 1-on-2, and she does it by herself.
Yeah, she walked to the middle of the ice on Brooklyn Tews, and Tews, the veteran defender out of Beaver Lodge, tried to get the stick there. Maybe affected how that shot came off the stick blade too, and might have fooled Grace Glover. It went 5-hole on Glover, so UBC doubles their advantage, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, Kordick may be shooting through a little bit of a screen on that one, but that's her fourth point of the tournament. The 5th-year art student out of Edmonton, Alberta, expands the lead by 1.
One to the far side, looking for more now, our UBC. Carmen's shot deflects. Now another centering pass and a shot off the post. It's in. They score. Just like that, UBC again. This time it's Mackenzie McCallum. 3-0 Birds.
And the UBC parents are thrilled.
This one, a steal behind the net, Rinner, and a bit of a pinball off the post and maybe off the back of Glover and in.
Yeah, that was built off of Ashton Thorpe's stellar forecheck there to cause that turnover. Alberta back on their heels a little bit.
2 quick ones from UBC in this back half of the second period, and it's a 3-0 game now.
That one from Mackenzie McCallum, the McGill transfer, where she played 63 games and scored 20 goals. So she's also an offensive superstar.
Yeah, and that RSEQ League, as we've seen so far this weekend and in past, one of the strongest conferences in the country, as this one's drifted on. Glover had 2 saves there that she had to make. First one from Misswagen, and second one from Mia Baird. As Alberta under siege a little bit here, Renner.
Yeah, UBC hot to trot, and they are jumping on every loose puck and rebound in and around the blue paint and wreaking havoc for Glover. Alberta defenders have got to start clearing out some of those bodies in front of the net, especially when you have a 6'2" forward like Elliott on the ice. You can't see anything past her. They're taking the eyes of Glover away and really getting in her face, and it's starting to show here in the scoreboard.
It's been trouble for Alberta for the last 3 minutes as Elliott cranks that one just wide, looking for more. UBC swarming now in the offensive zone. Borded Wee buries a Thunderbird in deep. That was Wong. Cazell has it stolen from Fleming, and Wong leaves it for Fleming. Fleming, as Wong is dumped again behind the play, gets back up, tries to take a swat at that one, and now Twos comes together with Elliott. Misswagen at the line. Misswagen, her shot deflected there. Wong got a stick on that. Elliott was in front as well. I think it would have been high stick though. Now Alberta maybe with a pushback. Clouston leads the rush. Clouston flips it towards net, but Elise Huggins is there, and Huggins gets a shot up high, and now we're gonna see some more extracurriculars after the whistle. Huggins took a stick up near the mask, and someone's getting pulled out of here. I think it's gonna be, the UBC captain Sierra LaPlante's gonna get whistled.
Yeah, and that's a dangerous play. She takes an extra shot at the Pandas player who was unexpecting of it, and she goes face first into the boards, sliding in at quite a quick speed, so dangerous play. Happy to see everyone's all right after that, but we will see the captain LaPlante in the box for 2 minutes as Alberta goes back to another power play.
Yeah, Renner, I think LaPlante responded to what she thought was maybe a late shot on her goaltender.
Yeah.
And she got the last whistle. As they say, it's always the retaliation. So Alberta with a chance to get back into this one on the power play here. Wong, though, shorthanded, has Bentnell on a 2-on-1 shorthanded Wong. Wong and Bentnell. Wong, Bentnell, stopped by Glover. Mark that one down if Alberta gets a pushback here in the last 25 minutes and change. Lombak back on the power play for Alberta in the offensive zone around the net for Soiko. Abby Soiko couldn't corral the bouncing puck, and it's cleared over the outstretched reach of Anchor. And now Mia Baird off the bench. Killing the penalty bothers Anchor. Pulled out by Natalie Kieser. Alberta in some trouble now in the penalty kill. Anchor has it stolen again by Beard. Great penalty kill shift there from the Calgary native Mia Baird. Mishwagen, she'll roll it in. Glover's just gonna freeze as a bit of a snow shower draws some more rough stuff.
Well, it is beginning to become expected. Every single stoppage in play, we will see any shots that can be taken. But UBC, the gas pedal is floored here, Adam.
Absolutely, on the penalty kill.
Yes.
The last 35 or 40 seconds really has been played in Alberta's territory.
And you can feel the electricity running through the UBC bench and the UBC parents in Dan Schneider Memorial here after that hefty effort on the man down.
UBC wins the draw. Still down, and Carmen's shot, bidding for a shorthanded tally, was deflected wide. Pandas try to get things going now offensively. Here's the captain, Lajoie, Izzy Lajoie. Her dad, Serge, a former head coach of the men's team, a University Cup champion. Serge now working for this women's team as well on the staff of Howie Draper. As it's drifted down the ice and out once again by Mackenzie Kordick, who clears the zone.
Clock winding down on the Pandas power play, about 10 seconds left here.
Maybe time for one more rush for the Pandas. Morris has it pitched past her by Lombak. Lombak couldn't corral that one. Good stick check by Sophia Gaskell, and she'll clear the zone to kill the rest of the LaPlante minor. Back to full strength are the Thunderbirds. Taylor Anchor leads the rush from the back end. Rolls it past Morris. Morris, though, is able to make sure that McCallum can clear the zone. It's all the way down the ice, and icing is the call against UBC here. Inside 4 to play in the second.
Yeah, less than 4 minutes left to go. Alberta still yet to get on the board. This is something that we saw from them the first game as well, as they were shut out by Kara Mark. But with time winding down in this second chunk here, they're going to need to find a way to get one before the end of the period if they want to feel good about themselves going into this intermission, as they need some wind behind their sails here.
Alberta would love to find one here, as you said, Renner. Meanwhile, UBC with Bentonall trying to kick it ahead. This, what you would classify as their second line that's been dangerous. Here's McCallum. McCallum, her shot stopped by Glover, and she'll pounce on the rebound. UBC is looking for the dagger here at the end of the second frame.
UBC seemingly unbothered by the defenders standing tall in front of Alberta and the shots that they have been receiving when they get in and around Glover, as they are relentless and continue to pound the net and jump on every loose puck that pops out.
Off the draw, Baird's shot, that one's blocked. You know, she'd love to get a goal here in the Waterloo region after her brother Nate has scored so many for the Warriors in the last 3 of his career. Chipped in by Baird, and she'll chase. Twos. Tries to get Alberta out of the zone. She cannot. Tied up behind the net is Baird with anchor. Pardon me, that was Cazell. Cazell pins with twos along the end boards for Alberta. Baird tries to dig it out for UBC. Puck still not moving.
It looks like Alberta is contributing to this pin and content to lock up the puck, but they are the ones who need to get the puck moving and score a goal here.
Yeah, and it's their defensive zone too, right? They don't want to have defensive zone face-offs all for the rest of this one, because they have to find something past Elise Huggins here soon.
Although we will see a full line change for the Pandas, so perhaps it might have been an escape route out of some tired legs just for a stoppage in play, which we saw.
And they'll put the top line back on, will Alberta. Keyser takes the draw. Soiko on this top line as well as Willen. And here is Natalie Keyser. Keyser's shot, that one deflects. Soiko grabs it into the corner and back behind the net for Keyser. Top of the zone at the line anchor. Just had to roll it back the way it came. Soiko around for Willen. Off the bench is Black. Tries to engage the cycle here for Alberta, but it's neatly broken up there by McCallum on the back check. Morden looks for it for Alberta. McCallum, though. McCallum chops it off the boards and out. And the most recent goal scorer for UBC clears the zone to get a change. Stepping up at the line now is Gaskell. Gaskell makes a move. She'll shoot it back in for Bentonall to chase on to. Cassandra Bentonall, as you said, Rinner, has had a great tournament. She's been all over the ice for UBC. She'll go for a change, and now inside, well inside 2 to play, down to 90 seconds. As Kordic peels out into the high slot. Kordic, her shot scores! Might have been tipped in front. It was the Kordic shot. And a deflection maybe off of a Panda. Kordic's leading the handshake line as she makes it 4-0.
Kordic, her second of the game here. 5th point of the U Sports Championship. As she turns and rips, wheeling it around, creating that space for herself. She sees a corner, she picks it, and she shoots for it, and she scores.
A great play, patient by Kordic to get the shooting lane she wanted. Hard to tell there from Glover's reaction. It might have hit a body on the way through. It looked too, Rinner, that maybe Kordic and Elliott glanced at each other, and Elliott said, I didn't touch it, it's your goal. So if it hit anyone, it must have been a Panda. It was a hard, high shot, though, from Kordic, and it's 4-0 UBC. Lombach Spins it in deep. Here's Keyser. Alberta now definitely would love a goal in the last minute. UBC may have seized control of this one indefinitely. Miswagon behind the net. Wanda LaPlante moves it quickly up ice, but unable to clear the zone is Healy. Alberta still trying to engage the cycle. Puck pinned along the corner boards. Miswagon peels it out. Turns back up ice. Mia Baird has it. Bourdouis marks her. And now a giveaway. Bourdouis, oh, she overskated the bouncing puck. It hopped on her. Lajoie follows up. Pardon me, this is Magnus. Magnus, her centering pass off the shoulder of Huggins and cleared by UBC. Just 10 seconds left in the period as UBC will survive and send it back down the ice. Melnick will try to work it quickly. Long lead pass. Magnus just swings and knocks it in. And that will do it. 40 minutes in the books in the Consolation final. And Rinner, UBC explodes in that middle 20.
Yeah, UBC exploding and no sign of stopping as they continue to keep their foot on the gas pedal and increase their lead. Alberta looking like they're trying to take a little bit of a bite back in the last minute there, but nothing to show for it. We will see what both these teams can come up with as they put their heads together in between the periods.
Yeah, we had mentioned that UBC carried the bulk of the play in that first period. In the second period, it kind of evened out until that midway point, the TV timeout, and I don't know what Graham Thomas said to his team on the bench, but they came out flying in that second half of the period. 3 goals in the final 10 minutes as the rough stuff picks up and continues on here after pretty much every whistle, as you would expect for these two familiar teams. So it's 4-0 after 2. We'll throw it down to Sarah, who's got Graham Thomas.
And with UBC head coach Graham Thomas, coach, 2 back-to-back shots around midway through the period and then one other one at the end there. What went right in those minutes?
Yeah, I think just taking pucks to the net. I know it sounds cliche, but we're moving our feet and we're taking the pucks to the net, and we're attacking with intensity and with a purpose, and I think that's the difference right now.
A lot of history between these two teams. How much is that a motivating factor to end off the season in a high note?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're a great program, but yeah, there's a little controversy in our Canada West final. So I think we just have a little extra motivation to play and a lot to prove in this game. And so it's an opportunity to do that in the final season of the game. So, but just proud of them, how they're playing, how they're being resilient through, and how they're performing right now.
Thank you, Coach. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Sarah. As Sarah mentioned, it was a flurry. It was Mackenzie Kordick from Sandilands. That got the lead to 2-0. And then McCallum made it 3-0. Thorpe and Bentonall, as you said, Rinner, the Thorpe forecheck created that chance. And then again, it was Kordick who rounded out the scoring in that period. 3 goals in the final 10 minutes and change for UBC as they take a 4-0 lead into the third period of the 5th place Consolation game. You're watching U Sports on CBC.
We are athletes.
Do you know what Husky athletes are made of?
Determination.
Hustle.
Resilience. We're part of a team and a community.
We work hard for every goal.
And every grade.
Do you know what Husky athletes become?
Pharmacists.
Teachers.
Professionals.
Olympians.
When you invest in student athletes, you invest in the future.
When you elevate her, you elevate the game.
Watch women win.
Everyone watches Husky women's sports.
See her, be her.
This is a call to empower, to unite and to celebrate the bold in all their glory. It's time to own the ice. Are you ready?
No way! Thank you. Are you serious? Merci, wow. I can't believe I won. It's crazy. Oh, that's great to hear. I just love the game and I'm just so thankful.
Where exceptional student athletes are born, where records are broken, where great plays are made, where school colors ignite passion, where champions prevail, where tradition is celebrated, Ontario University Athletics.
Hey U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Welcome back to the 2025 Miller Waste U Sports Women's Hockey Championship. There's the beautiful West Montrose covered bridge, which you'll see in the championship logo and the logo of the township of Woolwich, created, by the way, by Woolwich native Steve Brooks, who's also the man that created the Waterloo Warriors shield 26 years ago. So, patron, my name's Adam McGuire, Sarah Saeed on the sidelines. After one period, it was 1-0. Midway through the second, it was a defensive clinic, but UBC were in an explosion in that second half of that second period.
Yeah, all within regular 5-on-5 play as well. We saw 3 goals within the span of about 7 minutes. It did seem like the floodgates opened there. It seems a little bit like UBC has their sights set on scoring goals. Alberta maybe their sights set a little bit on UBC as they are getting caught up in too many extracurriculars given the deficit that they are needing to claw their way back from. So.
Yeah, frustration maybe boiling over for the Pandas. There was the second goal, the first of the period, as Mackenzie Kordick went wide, cut back into the middle, and then swung it on net, and maybe fooled Glover a little bit. So we'll hear now from Cole McKay in our PepsiCo Foods Canada feature U Sports Champion Spotlight.
I'm from a small town in Ontario, Sault Ste. Marie. Grew up playing hockey from, almost the time I could walk, and it's a family pastime. I have an older brother. My mom, dad are great. Everyone's in the family is so supportive. I like to think I'm an outgoing person. I work really hard, care about my teammates, my friends, girlfriend, parents, everyone. So I'm just a really attentive and caring guy, I think, and I like to have fun in doing whatever I'm doing, whether that be at the rink, something to have fun with at school, at the library, wherever it is. So I'm just always trying to enjoy myself, see the best in every situation, and have fun in my university years right now. Within Ontario, there's a few schools that try to recruit me, and there was all good options. There's so many good universities in Canada, and but then when UNB called, the first phone call I knew it was a special place, both to get your degree, but also, continue your trajectory as a hockey player. And it worked out just as planned. And as you know, that's not always the case. And throughout your life, like, things happen. Hockey Gives Blood is an initiative through Canadian Blood Services. Stu Middleton, he's based out in Western Canada. He kind of recruited me, amongst plenty of others across Canada, to join and be an ambassador for the program. So what it is pretty much is using our platforms, athletes. So starting in the CHL and the OHL, we kind of have notoriety within our communities. So kind of leveraging that to just promote awareness, promote people that, first of all, how easy it is to donate blood, how important it is, and to share stories of how it truly changes people's lives. I look back just personally on how I got where I am today, and there's so many people that helped me along the way. It starts with my parents, but it goes into teachers, coaches, trainers, doctors, nurses. There's everyone. But as you go through your life, there's certain people that make a significant impact. And volunteering is something that a lot of people just misstep, and they don't give the credit it deserves, I don't think. So as young people, you kind of got to reflect, realize how you got where you are today, and just say, okay, well, I'm going to do my part now and kind of give back to the community. We're very lucky to help somebody achieve their goals like people help me achieve mine. Find your passion and just give back. And we're super lucky to be in the position we are and to be able to play a sport and go to school. And it's just super important to give back, in my opinion.
Changemakers. Change it up. Turn ideas into action. Passion into purpose. And questions into real solutions. Because whatever path you choose, here you'll make an impact and get ready to change the world. Make your change. Discover your story at Waterloo.
This is a call to empower, to unite, and to celebrate the bold in all their glory. It's time to own the ice. Are you ready?
Feel every hit, goal, and celebration as if you're standing right on the sideline, immersing you in the game like never before, bringing heart-pounding action directly to millions of fans. We deliver unparalleled simplicity and tailor-made digital broadcasting solutions crafted to make you feel every moment in a way like never before. Our passionate team ensures your message reaches audiences reliably every time. Proudly Canadian, we bring a touch of innovation and our passion to the world stage. ISI Live, be there.
Hey U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Aussi bon que Messi! C'est pas aussi mauvais que la cigarette, ça? C'est
At Miller Waste, we're proud to sponsor the 2025 U Sports Women's Hockey Championship. There is lots of trash talk on the ice. At Miller Waste, we talk trash every day. We serve over 2 million Ontario households weekly, transforming more than 175,000 metric tons of recyclables and organic waste into reusable resources. Proudly Canadian, family owned, always driving hard to the net. Let's make a difference. Game on.
U Sports on CBC, presented by les championnats U-Sport à Radio-Canada, une présentation du gouvernement du Canada, the Government of Canada, Nike, Fox 40, Veraburn Medical Supplies, Les Bagues Baron Rings, BioSteel, and by et par les systèmes Miller Waste Systems.
Welcome back to Woolwich, Ontario in the Waterloo region. Elmira, just north of St. Jacobs in the world-famous St. Jacobs Farmers Market. We are inside the Dan Snyder Memorial Arena. It's 4-0 UBC after 40 minutes. Adam McGuire, Paige Rinn, and Sarah Saeed with you as we take a look at some of the highlights. And Rinner, Alberta did come out in that second period with some good chances early on and were very close. They were knocking on the door of tying this game before UBC exploded.
Yeah, as you said, UBC exploded. We saw them pocket 3 in a short period of time, and it seemed to kind of deflate the Pandas a little bit. So we saw their bench maybe a little bit low on energy. Then we did see them pick it back up in the last minute, and they're going to have to maintain that high tempo, high pace, and cut into the deficit early if they want a chance at clawing their way back in this one.
Yeah, both goaltenders were sharp early going. We saw some of the saves that Elise Huggins made. There's another one when the game was 1-0. Grace Glover, as advertised, obviously solid as well. It was just that back half of the period. Scoring opened up here by Cordick in that second period that doubled the T-Birds lead. The first of 2 consecutive shots, as Sarah mentioned, to head coach Graham Thomas, that found the back of the net. Here was the second one on the forecheck from Ashton Thorpe. Brilliant play to set it in front, and then McCallum ripped it home. Take another look at that forecheck. A great steal here on the offensive zone by Thorpe.
Yeah, and that's just, as we said, UBC, even with the lead at the end of that period, we saw them not let off the gas. They could be quite content to just sit back and defend the gap that they've created for themselves already, but that does not seem to be the case as they are still chomping at the bit here.
This was the third and final goal of the period, the fourth of the night, of the day, morning, I guess, whatever time it is outside, for Mackenzie Cordick, her second of the afternoon. And after 2 periods, shots 19-15 in favor of UBC. Neither team has cashed on the power play yet, Rinner.
And to add on to that, the block shots are 10-5 for Pandas, so obviously Pandas stepping in front of a few to make sure that they are not making their way to Glover. But yeah, only 3 penalties in total in this game, and given the physicality that we've seen going on, but the referees seeming to maybe be respectful of the history between these 2 teams and letting them play on and blow some steam out a little bit. It's going to get interesting here in the third period, I think, Adam.
Yeah, we've alluded to the history a lot, Rinner, and I guess we can just come out and say it. The 2 programs, the 2 teams, they don't like each other. They don't care for each other. They've played a lot of each other. They've seen each other. They knew they would be on a collision course for a Canada West title. And statistically, the 2 best teams in Canada West in the national rankings, the last ones before the playoffs at the end of the regular season, both teams were in the top 5 in the country. And pretty good chance that the winner of that Canada West playoff series was going to be one of the top seeds. It turned out Alberta was the top seed. UBC was the number 1 seed coming in to that playoff, and Alberta, the number 1 seed. UBC ended up as 6 because they didn't win their conference. And now both facing off for 5th place and the consolation crown at the 2025 Miller Waste U Sports Women's Hockey Championship. We're back underway in period number 3. And Alberta will look quickly to strike here, which has not really been their MO all season. Offensively, not one of the strongest teams as UBC knocks on the door. Play is stopped as now we'll see a new goaltender in the net for Alberta. It's 3rd-year art student Mackenzie Dojan. She is from Bentley, Alberta, Lakeland College Rustler in a past life. And great to see the third goaltender for Alberta to get some action here in period number 3.
And that one will wake her up early as a little stop of a point shot then gets flipped up over top of her and ends up behind the net, but that was a close one.
Absolutely, it was. It's welcome to the game, welcome to the tournament, Mackenzie Dojan. In back of the net now behind UBC's goal, and Misswagen collides there with Anchor. Shot comes through and a delayed penalty coming up. It's going to go against UBC. A hooking call, and I think it's going to be Mackenzie Kordick who will be whistled.
Mackenzie Kordick, the 2-time goal scorer already this game, will head to the box for tripping, as we'll see on the replay here. Yeah, as soon as you stop moving your feet, especially when your stick's tied up, they're going to call that right in front of the referee. She'll head to the box for 2 minutes.
So Alberta back to the power play in this first minute of the third period. Bentnall couldn't swing to clear the zone. It bounces to the front of the net. Meadow Carmen carefully high off the glass and out. Bentnall on the forecheck. Can't steal the puck. Finally won by Reagan Udall, and she will flip it in. Chases past Carmen. Onto the far side as Alberta looks to set something up. Natalie Kieser in behind the net. Udall, Kieser swung it in front, and it was off a stick out to the top of the zone, kept in by Anchor. Abby Soiko, the overtime hero in both Canada West final games. Anchor, little drop for Soiko. Soiko drags and fires and scores! Alberta on the board. May have been deflected in front, and it's Natalie Kieser's goal, 4-1.
That one looked like it might have bounced off some bodies out in front. We'll see Alberta power play goal to cut the lead by 1, bring them back within 3. Looking at the replay here, see a drop and pass.
Yeah, tipped on the door by Kieser off the shot from Soiko, I believe. And so it'll be Kieser from Soiko and Taylor Anchor as Alberta gets one back early on, as they won't go away quietly. In the feet of Twos. Brooklyn Twos plays it into the corner, and then back down the ice it comes. Boarded-Wee will chase it into the far side corner. Up ahead it comes for Elliott. Elliott, her shot scores! Grace Elliott gets it right back. UBC re-extends their lead to 4 as the National Player of the Year is on the score sheet in the consolation final.
Grace Elliott had something to say with the goal celebration on that one. But that is her second goal of the tournament, and what a snipe as she tosses it right over the pad of Dohan into the back of the net. Her third point here in the tournament, as she continues to prove why she received U Sports Player of the Year this year.
Grace Elliott with the response for UBC, as Alberta had some momentum in that power play goal early on from Natalie Kieser. And the National Player of the Year, we mentioned 22 goals in the regular season. Her first of the tournament as Anchor rings it around back of the net. It took a funny bounce off that end boards. That Zamboni door has caused some havoc in this tournament here, Rinner.
It has.
Just earmark that for the 2 medal games coming up later today. Mia Baird makes a move, and Baird goes wide. Baird neatly through center ice and all the way down into the corner, but it's turned back by Soiko. Now stolen back by the Thunderbirds, and Hannah Perrier centering pass goes back out to the line, Gaskell drilled it, but Dojan makes the save.
No bodies out in front, so that one's easy for Doan to track, but Gaskell looking for that slap shot all day, every day. We've seen it already. It has led to goals, and she will do it again.
One of the heaviest shots we've seen this week, as Bassie's wrister is gloved down once again by Dojan. Yeah, one of the heaviest shots, just to complete that thought, from Sophia Gaskell, the Port Moody, BC native. She can rip it from the point. Flipped back in here by the Thunderbirds. And Keyser, the goal scorer, tries to elude the forecheck of Jacqueline Fleming. Jacqueline Fleming scored a beauty to open this game. Now Keyser, long lead pass. She's going to try to chase on. Keyser in on goal. Stop there. Door is shut. Wickets are squeezed by Elise Huggins.
Keyser looking for the 5-hole, and she thought she had it, but Huggins closes the door, shuts the gap, and we'll get a stoppage in play here in the BC defensive zone.
Alberta wins the face-off in the offensive zone, and Misswagon's going to try to clear. She's hauled down, but the puck does move up and out into center ice, backhanded there by Thorpe. LaPlante will send it inside the line. King lost the puck there with Annalise Wong right on her. Now Misswagon, her hard shot, Dojan steers it away. Puck played with a high stick, was knocked down by Alberta after the high stick, and it bounces to Dojan, who will freeze for a face-off with Annalise Wong right on the doorstep.
There seems to be a lot of chatter out there between these two rivals, and I would wager that it is not friendly talk that is being exchanged out there, as I believe we will see coincidental minors as Sandilands.
Yeah, Sandilands and Haley Craig.
Yeah.
And Sandilands, Brenner, with the point at the scoreboard back to Craig as they were exchanging pleasantries.
Yeah, I think it might start to get a little bit heated in here, if it wasn't already.
I think that's a pretty good bet as time ticks away in both of these teams' seasons. And Alberta 4 goals in arrears. That shot came through from the point. It was kicked neatly away from Mackenzie Dojan. Tough for her to get thrown into this one as Jalen Morris's wrister is neatly kicked away. Here's Morris back behind her own net. Lost control of the puck momentarily. On to Grace Elliott. Elliott, little bump ahead to Kordick. Give and go with Elliott. Elliott, Kordick, sharp angle, and it was through the other side. Carmen walks in off the line as Kordick searches maybe for her hat trick moment at Nationals. Mackenzie McCallum back down low, Kordick. Kordick. Behind the net, cut off by Anchor. And now Anchor will play it off the sideboards. Up for Abby Bordedoui. She'll get it in deep, lost her stick, but go for a change, will Bordedoui. Meanwhile, it's Meadow Carmen, turned over at the line though, and Willen fires it back in for Alberta. On the far side, Morden. Jaden Morden is taken down. She comes together there with Sophia Gaskell, and there'll be a penalty behind the play. Pardon me, that was Pepler, 28. Not Gaskell, and her and Jaden Morden exchange some pleasantries, but it's going to be just the one penalty. Kaylee Pepler, the 4th-year art student out of Saskatoon, will get sent to the box for the Thunderbirds.
See the replay here?
It's that shot right there, the cross check, I think, Brenner.
Yeah, we haven't seen the referees let a lot more physicality go. You know, we've postulated that it might be a bit of a trickle-down effect from the physicality that they're allowing in the PWHL, but that will get called all day. The retaliation will not fly. especially shots to the numbers like that. We've seen a few of those already tonight, and any dangerous play like that will be penalized. Only a 2-minute though, by the looks of it.
Yeah, Kaylee Pepler cross-checking the call. And off the face-off, the T-Birds win it and clear the zone. Mia Baird chases in behind the net. Now twos on the near side. Brooklyn twos. Chips past LaPlante, but LaPlante knocked her off stride. Misswagen is there in behind her own net. Puck is tied up. 3 Thunderbirds try to dig it out. Bounces loose for a moment, but back pinned along the end boards until Izzy Lajoie finds it. Now Cazell with a move at the line, but couldn't get a shot through. The traffic was too heavy in the slot. Misswagen had a chance to clear, could not. Lajoie kept it in, but only for a moment. And now Cazell back at the red line has to send it to anchor. Alberta regroups, but just ahead of the play was Madison Willen. So offside the call against the Pandas here. 52 seconds gone in the penalty to UBC.
Adam, for a split second there, I thought we might have seen Dohan go to the bench. I saw her make eyes, and you know, they're down. They've pocketed 1 power play goal already this game, Alberta has. So, could see them try and get a 2-man advantage here.
Yeah, it's not out of the realm of possibilities as Bentonall chips and chases. Shot there on Dojan, who will hold for a face-off. In the OUA playoffs last year, we saw something similar with the Nipissing Lakers. They were heavily favored. They were down 4-0 in Game 2 against York in their opening round, and in the second period, Darren Turcotte pulled his goalie with a power play. And Nipissing did get a power play goal back on that play. They did, however, concede an empty netter in the second period. An empty netter in the second period, I'll say it again. So it's not without risk, but yeah, I mean, if you're Howie Draper, you might have to pull out all the stops here if you want to try to get back into this game. Still 13 minutes and change left, so Soiko's going to chase it down. Cut off there by Carmen. Rung back around, but now a shorthanded chance maybe for UBC. Wong. Bentonall was in her feet. Back down low for Wong. Wong buried in the corner. Udall checked her. Puck is still loose in behind the Alberta net. And Madison Willen is going to skate it out of harm's way and have Abby Soiko. On to anchor. Lead pass at center ice, poked away from Morden. Penalty is over, back to full strength are the Thunderbirds. Magnus down into the corner, but she's turned away. And now UBC is back through center ice. Puck is loose though, and Cazell steps up and drifts it back in for Alberta. Delayed offside, Alberta's got to clear the zone. And unbeknownst to Kaylee Clouston, it was a delayed offside, so a stoppage here as the time ticks away in the third period for Alberta.
Yeah, only 12 minutes and 10 seconds left in this third frame, and UBC still ahead in the shots here as well. We're seeing 26-17, and it feels like the gap is growing there a little bit. Not for a lack of effort from Pandas, as they are fighting to try and claw their way back into this one.
Cazell in over the line. Cazell tries to center it in front. Neatly broken up by Jalen Morris. Back in front it comes, and boarded Wee's shot is wide of the net. Picked up off the end boards, and a lead pass up ahead for Elliott at center ice. Elliott drops for McCallum. McCallum on the right wing side. Sends it back down low. Cordic. Second try to center it. Comes back to the line. LaPlante shot deflects. And wide of the net into the corner. Sierra LaPlante with it again. Cordic on the backhand. Couldn't connect there with McCallum. Grace Elliott couldn't reach it either. Cazell chopped it away from her. In the feet there of Clouston, she couldn't find it. Brooklyn 2's now behind the net, and a stoppage as the net is off its moorings in behind Mackenzie Dojan.
Alberta gonna need to find a way to break it out of their own end here and get some sustained offensive pressure. The tide is still in UBC's favor at this point as the clock winds down. Dohan doing a good job standing tall and making sure that that gap between the two teams is not widen any further than it already is.
Bentnall wins the draw. And King couldn't find it in her feet. Bentnall bumps it down. Unable to center it there was Bassi. UBC still on the attack though. In the offensive zone, Bentnall tries to dig it out of the feet. Upended there is a Thunderbird on the near side. Couldn't tell who that was, but the feet went up and out. It was Annalise Wong. And now Bassey's going to get whistled for a trip as Keyser went down. Delayed call coming up against UBC once more. Extra attacker on with the delayed penalty. Keyser tries to get around Carmen, and then Carmen slams Keyser into the end boards, and this is going to be two separate minors on the same play here for UBC.
You don't see that very often. I believe the penalty, the second penalty call is going to be an interference penalty. The first call on Bossy was a tripping penalty, but yeah, 5-on-3 for 2 minutes.
A trip against Bassey, interference the call against Meadow Carmen. So it'll be a full 2-minute 5-on-3 for Alberta here. And we're jumping way ahead here, obviously, Rinner, but you got to think if Alberta can cash on both of these power play opportunities, brand new hockey game.
Yeah.
Anchor's going to get it back from Soiko. Anchor. Long back to Soiko. Down low, Keyser's shot fought off by the blocking hand on the short side. Good save from Elise Huggins, and even got the little stick tap there from Madison Willen. Said, I thought I had that short side pick, but that was a good stop. Puck bounced past Anchor, and UBC appreciative of the effort. 30 seconds gone in the 5-on-3. Taylor Anchor, Peyton Lomback, swept away there by Jacqueline Fleming. Misswagen.
Misswagen content to pin it, chew up some time on the 5-on-3 here for the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, Misswagen and LaPlante both back there eating up some clock. It bumps back to the line, Soiko. Her shot, that one off the leg in front of LaPlante. Now Madison Willen. Anchor tries to go back to Willen, but it's intercepted. Jacqueline Fleming bumps it out the ice, and UBC gets a change.
Over a minute gone on the power play here for the Pandas as they look to strike again on the power play. They've already done it once this game, and they need to do it in the 40 seconds remaining here on the 5-on-3.
Anchor. Top of the circle. Far side, Cazell. Back to Anchor, but the pass was too far for Regan Udall. Couldn't find Anchor, and it bounces out to center ice, and now in the feet of Cazell. Only 20 seconds left in the 5-on-3. Here comes Izzy Lajoie on the right wing side. Lajoie to the forehand. Puck is loose in the slot. No shots through though to Huggins. It's cleared once again, and that'll do it for the 5-on-3. UBC now back to full strength. Carmen and Bassi both out of the box. Clouston chips it in, but offside is the call at the line. A huge kill for UBC. And a 5-1 lead remains for the Thunderbirds here in the Consolation final. Big time penalty kill from UBC. Sandiland says, look at the scoreboard, we're up. UBC almost there in the 5th place game. You're watching U Sports on CBC.
Le sport en direct sur ICTout.tv. 100% énergie. 100% gratuit. Votre meilleur plan de match pour voir des performances exceptionnelles sur l'appareil de votre choix. C'est ICTout.tv.
This is a call to empower, to unite, and to celebrate the bold in all their glory. It's time to own the ice. Are you ready?
Welcome back to the Woolwich Memorial Centre, the Dan Snyder Memorial Arena. In the home stretch now of the 5th place game, the consolation final between the Alberta Pandas and the UBC Thunderbirds. Holly Magnus tries to drag it in the zone, but UBC is back with the possession and at center ice, bumped in there by Kordic. Chasing is Elliott. Elliott shoves King down, and King goes into the corner hard. She is still down and slow to get to her feet. She will get to the bench on her own power. Annie King, a scary looking collision with those boards as she was leveled by Elliott. Here is Grace Elliott once again at center ice. Flips it in. Anchor behind the net. On to Clouston. Clouston left it. And 1-on-3. Unable to make anything happen there. Who was that? That was Jaden Morden, I think. She was swarmed as a penalty is coming up behind the play. Alberta touches it up, and I think Morden's frustration is going to get the best of her. No, it's not going to be Morden. It is going to be Haley Craig again, who's sent to the box for interference this time. More behind the play action here, Renner.
Yeah, I actually didn't see that one, but...
Nor did I, yeah.
This will send the Thunderbirds back to their second power play of the game. They've been unable to capitalize so far with the man-up advantage, although they haven't needed it, but we'll see if they can do that now.
It's the first time all year Alberta's given up 5 goals. UBC is going to try to make it a 6th spot here on the power play. Morris switches places with Wong. Morris, Bassi. Bassi makes a move. Bassi, cross ice. Unable to get there was Fleming. Jacqueline Fleming couldn't convert. Elliott was down in front. Swimming there was Dojan, but Alberta held the fort.
That was a cheeky little move by Bassi on the goal line, just to dip it around the defender and make a nice little flat pass right across the center of the net. Unable to capitalize and tuck that one in the back of the net, but that was a very skillful play there by number 21, Bassi on the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, it was Jacqueline Fleming looking for her second of the game on the far side post. Just unable to capitalize on the brilliant play from Shanrit Bassi. Here's Annalise Wong now to the near side Morris. Bassi with it once again. Bassi tries to go short side and pick the corner. It's off the glass. Kept in there by Wong. Now Elliott. Back behind the net, Bassi looked up and tried to center. The puck bobbled on her. And the captain, Izzy Lajoie, is going to steal and come out shorthanded for Alberta. Lajoie, shorthanded rush. Lajoie, what a glove snare. Elise Huggins. Gorgeous save with the left hand.
Huggins with a little windmill when they needed it most, and she tucks that one away for a stoppage in play. That was the draw. And she's done it on the PK already so far this year. She just about did it again to close the gap, but Huggins has not faltered this morning.
Yeah, she's been great, has Huggins. Just the one passer early in this period that Grace Elliott responded with. Thorpe now, 48 seconds and counting left in the power play on UBC. At the line, Bentonall drops. Gaskill wanted to wind up that shot. Now she will. She ripped it. What a howitzer, but it was tipped in front. Might have hit traffic before it reached Dojan. Gaskill with it again. Udall wants to take her time and space away. Little drop here for Kordic. Kordic. Gaskill wanted the one-timer. The pass wasn't where she needed it to be. Now she'll wrist it through and deflected just high over the bar and off the glass. Mackenzie McCallum tried to tip that one home. Alberta with a chance to clear to the line, but not out. 8 seconds left in the power play. Another wrister from the line. This one from Ashton Thorpe, pardon me, and it's scooped up and held by Dojan.
UBC with a couple close calls on that one. Bentonall loves to just hang out around the post. She loves those garbage goals. We've seen it from her already this tournament. That's where you could see her, that whole shift, and she wanted one. She was close, but they could not tuck it away.
Penalty is over. Alberta back to full strength. Spilled on the far side is Mia Baird, and puck underneath of her, so they will stop play once more here. Just 5 minutes and change left.
Alberta needing to score 4 goals in 5 minutes and 11 seconds to extend this game beyond regulation time if they want to extend their season a little bit longer.
Jacqueline Fleming to take the draw against Natalie Kieser, both with goals today. Kieser won it. And Sarah Cazell has the captain Lajoie. On to Lombach. Lombach tried to give it back to Lajoie. Bouncing puck will be picked up by the Alberta captain now. Lombach rips it behind the net. Kieser couldn't center it. Had the puck taken away by Misswagen. Pandas bump it in behind the net once more. Lombach sends it for Kieser, back to Lombach. Lombach on the backhand, tees up the one-timer for Willen, but her shot was blocked. Lombach now to Tews. Tews through traffic. It went through the feet there of Kieser, providing the screen in front, but Hugin's got a pad on it. Tews now, on to Willen. Willen, little drop pass. Too hot to handle for Morden. And now Kordick is back for UBC. Thunderbirds needed a change though. So stood up there, and now back on the attack is Soiko for Alberta. Now she's turned away just inside the UBC line, and Black has it in the neutral zone once more. Soiko flips it in from center ice. Chasing there, Morden. Morden bodied off there, and now Cassandra Bentonall. Couldn't clear. Carmen now bumped it cross ice. Carmen gets it back, as her and Pepler haven't been able to get UBC started on the breakout. Now they will through center ice. Little backhand feed to Bentonall, and Bentonall is in! Blocker stop from Dojan on a unbelievably brilliant touch there from Bassi at the Alberta blue line.
She has been great all tournament. She has some of the best feeds I've seen in the female game here, as we just see that one from Bassi, a little no-look behind the back pass at the blue line with the eyes in the back of her head to find Bentonall and send her in on a grade A scoring chance there.
20 assists in the regular season for Bassi and a 31-point campaign. More brilliance from her, although lost in the headlines a bit. Maybe a great blocker save from Mackenzie Dojan, who fought that one off and punched it over the glass and out of play. This one will be icing against Alberta, as Dojan made the blocker save on that last play. Now an offensive zone face-off for UBC as they send the top line back out. Different look of the top line here. It's going to be Elliott on with McCallum and Kordick.
Two Mackenzies, the 2 goal scorers. Both of them have tucked 3 away between the 2 of them so far this game. And Grace Elliott as well with one, the goal scoring line.
That's right, at Elliott, who started the game with Fleming and Wong. Here's Elliott. Pass didn't reach Kordick. Kordick, her shot into the glove, looked right in there by Mackenzie Dojan.
Yeah, Grace Elliott's gotten one this game. Jacqueline Fleming with one of the goals and an assist. Mackenzie Kordick with 2 goals. And Mackenzie McCallum with 1 goal as well. Account for the Thunderbirds 5 so far on the board as they look to extend that by 1 more.
107 goals in the regular season, almost 4 per game. That was second in the country. The most net goals, second in goals per game. A plus 73 goal differential here for UBC in a fairly dominant regular season that saw them lose just 5 times and a 6th in overtime.
Yeah, they held the top spot in the country quite comfortably this year. They faltered and fell around, but especially the last 4 out of 5 weeks, they held that #1 spot in regular season Concordia took it, bumped them for 1 week, and then they were back to their same old spot up the top.
Yeah, Concordia and UBC kind of all year up and down in that 1 and 2 spot nationally ranked. Concordia with 1 regulation loss in the last 2 years. And after that regulation loss to Montreal back in January, it was UBC who was the top-ranked team coming in to the playoffs. Bassi back to Gaskell. Gaskell walks, fires, kicked away. Dojan, great stop on the right pad from Dojan, who fought through traffic and kicked it away. On a bomb from Gaskell once again. On the far side, Jalen Morris tries to poke it on ahead. Gaskell couldn't keep it in. Annalise Wong is there. Onto the far side, Morris's shot blocked. Reich got a body in front of that one. Morris with it again, Reich marks her. Gaskell fires again and fearlessly blocked by Craig that time. That takes something to stand in front of a Gaskell bomb. And it is cleared over the glass and out of play. That's going to be a penalty on Alberta. It's going to be Haley Craig to the box once more. The delay of game call as that one creeped over the glass and into the penalty box out of play.
She will slowly make her way there. As we start to see the Dan Schneider Memorial Arena fill up a little bit as some more people start trickling in for this afternoon's 2 p.m. bronze medal game between Concordia Stingers and the Toronto Varsity Blues.
Yeah, a rematch of last year's gold medal game.
Yep.
Toronto and Concordia. Concordia winning that one. They will face off for bronze at 2 o'clock before Bishops and Waterloo for gold at 6. All the action, of course, on cbcsports.ca, CBC Sports YouTube, and CBC Gem. Under a minute to go now in this one. LaPlante on the power play as Elliott looks to make it a 6 spot, tipped over the net. Graham Thomas and his UBC Thunderbirds will finish 5th in the national tournament. Keyser over the line will shoot it in as Lajoie in behind the net. Izzy Lajoie to finish off her varsity career. As we tick down under 30 seconds, and the graduating seniors, of course, will be the ones that feel this the most. Winner, I know you were in that position just last year with the Waterloo Warriors in the bronze medal game.
Yeah. Both teams coming away with a win on this season. Alberta winning the Canada West Championship, UBC winning this game here. As the clock winds down, both teams will have something to be happy about with this season.
They will indeed, and the Pandas have that Canada West banner that will no doubt hang from Claire Drake Arena alongside all their others, both on the men's and women's side. Dominant programs in hockey, the Golden Bears men, the Panda women. This Alberta team, the most decorated program with 8 Golden Path trophies. UBC was searching for their first this year, but they will settle for a consolation crown. And we will see for the last time UBC and Alberta line up for the players of the game here momentarily.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Adam, obviously both teams would have loved a gold, but there are so many teams in this Canadian Collegiate League, and only 8 make it here, so just making it to a national championship is a feat in itself and something to be very, very proud of, especially all of these graduating seniors to make it here and to show the display of skill that they have put on all weekend here, as we see that goal by Fleming once more.
Yeah, just reaching this tournament, obviously such a hard thing to do. Over 30 programs across the country in 4 conferences. And we knew these two teams didn't like each other much coming into this game. Here's Mackenzie Cordick's first goal of the game, the second for UBC. For the second straight year, UBC beats a Canada West foe for the 5th place Consolation title. Last year it was the host Saskatchewan Huskies that they defeated 4-1 in the consolation final. UBC fell in their quarterfinal last year to Montreal as the second seed. Thunderbirds, though, they had a strong showing yesterday and a strong one today as well. This is Kordick's second goal of the game. This one made it 4-0 late in the second period. Might have glazed off some traffic in front. Hit a body maybe of a Panda as King was trying to box out Jacqueline Fleming. This is Alberta's marker. Little drop feed anchor to Soiko, and Soiko's point shot deflected in by Natalie Kieser. Really deft tip, in fact, at the side of the post as we see Kieser go to the net, get position, and get a body and a stick on that puck. But just shortly thereafter, it was Grace Elliott that rounded out the scoring. As the Thunderbirds win it 5-1, we will now get our night team players of the game. Natalie Kieser is the Alberta player of the game. Had the goal for Alberta. Jacqueline Fleming will be the player of the game for UBC. Opened the scoring. She was dangerous all night in a player of the game selection that probably could have gone to about 4 forwards for UBC, Renner. Alberta salutes their fans who made the long trek here to Elmira, Ontario in the Waterloo region. The Canada West title that isn't changed at all by their result here today. They will always have that bond of a conference championship. Meanwhile, UBC celebrating with 2 wins in a row here in this tournament to finish things off. This is Grace Elliott's last goal. And Elliott makes the point. It's a good goal, and it's a win for UBC. Sandilands make sure that the Pandas see the scoreboard, Renner, as UBC wins this one by a score of 5-1. So, just a reminder, we'll be back on the air for the bronze medal game at 2 o'clock, gold medal at 6 o'clock. The final, though, from the 5th place consolation game, UBC 5, Alberta 1. Thanks for joining us. For Paige Rinn and Sarah Saeed, my name's Adam McGuire. U Sports on CBC.